equation of the week. The President of the USA plus the President of the USG no wait, I did that backwards. The President of the USG plus the President of the USA. If you take out all the common factors, you end up with GA. I just think that's cool. Are we ready now? Huh?
I mean, common letters.
Yeah.
There are no factors in the equation.
Whatever, Doug. It's okay.
Representative Bagat.
I'm not an engineer anymore.
Representative Brown. Representative Subak. Representative Williams.
Present and voting.
Representative Villano. Representative In. Representative Tabachnik. Representative Owaputi. Representative Arumagasamy. Representative Smith. Representative Stephen Lee. Representative Falkenberg. Representative Law. Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Representative Hoffman. Representative Lupton. Representative Cummins. Representative Thompson. Representative Chu. Representative Shillow. Representative Beckett. Representative Fernandez. Representative Dooner. Representative Hale. Representative Trong. Representative Ionity. Representative Lundell. Representative Irick. Representative Park. Representative Yuanli. Representative McKee. Representative Schloff. Representative Gallo.
President voting.
Representative Sabe.
President voting.
Representative DeBoss. Representative Fitch. Okay. Representative Singh. Representative Cruz. Representative Grialis. Representative Leoli.
President voting.
Speaker Pulaski. Treasurer Shah.
Present.
Treasurer Moser.
Present.
Parliamentarian Brubaker.
Present.
Vice President Maloney.
President voting.
Vice President Dorabek.
President voting.
Vice President Hamilton.
President voting.
Vice President Downey.
President voting.
Vice President Agarwal.
President voting.
President Wynn.
President voting.
Do we have any guests with us tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move into the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now move into board reports. President Wynn.
In my board report, you will see the co-sponsorships that were passed last Thursday. Only thing I would like to really just talk to you guys about is that it is elections time once more. So I really hope that you guys have been thinking about what your participation is going to be in USG for next semester, next year. I have already talked to several individuals already about their intended or their intentions of running or whatnot. So I would like to extend that invitation to you guys once more again. My office hours are Mondays and Fridays at 11:30 to 12:30. I would love to talk to you about any sort of positions or any sort of concerns you have. The first Din Din with Min event happened tonight, and we had a wonderful discussion that ranged from your individual VP evaluations, so VPs, I may be talking to you later, and as well as your caucus speaker, general USG and how USG is going, and other related things. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of Din Din with Mins. If you have not signed up for the survey, please do so, because I am looking forward to speaking with every single one of you. With that, I'm open to points. Also, I do want to add, I will be giving a update on my visit to CSU to, I guess, meet the big man himself, President Obama, and I will do that during open forum, so maybe that'll push you guys to get through some business. Open to points.
Okay, seeing no points, Vice President Agarwal.
Representative Sabe will be giving the student life report on my behalf tonight.
Okay, so if you look at the student life committee report, you'll see we have a lighting tour tentatively scheduled for March 17th at 6:30. Feel free to join. But the real reason I'm up here is to show you water bottle filling water fountains. Wait, 25 seconds would be perfect. It's only like 30 seconds. I don't want to waste your time. Yeah, right there.
And easy to maintain. Healthcare, fitness, hospitality, and corporate environment.
25 actually. We're gonna miss out. Here, this is it.
A water fountain with place for your water bottle? Haven't you seen the filling station? Awesome, I love it. That's a great idea. How does it work?
Oh, it's easy. You just put your water bottle here, and it fills automatically. It's clean, it's fast, and it's filtered.
This is way cooler than what I was envisioning.
It has this cool little green ticker that counts how many plastic water bottles I'm saving from the landfill.
That's so cool. I hope we start putting these in every water fountain.
Me too. And it's green.
Okay, that's all. As you can see, this is remarkable technology. And I emailed Gene Matthews, Director of Facilities, to see if we can get something like this at Case. He emailed me back saying they're actually looking into a few products in this line, which is great. And we're still yet to schedule the meeting. There's like scheduling conflicts, so hopefully I'll get to meet with him and we'll let you know how it goes. That is all. Open to points.
Any points for the speaker? Okay, seeing none. I'd like to say that's cooler than I envisioned.
It's spectacular.
Vice President Downey.
Okay, so most of this is my board report. I'm not going to go over everything, but just a couple key points. The Student Life Improvement Grant application is now live online. It's up on photos.case.edu. It's been sent out to student groups. I hear a rumor that it might be going into the Daily, as well as some other things, although it's unconfirmed. So please just try to get the word out. This is a really great chance for people to do something really cool on campus. It's $10,000. Applications are going to be accepted from now until April 1st at 5 p.m. And it's been linked to on the USG page, the front page, so that's probably the easiest way you can tell people to do it. But it's actually a form on Collegiate Link, just because we're trying to make that more uniform now. Other kind of point was, I think, oh, she is here. Okay, I will yield my time now to Ted Veer Singh to get an update.
Hi guys. So basically I found out why there's like a change in prices for renting the Rough Rider room in the spot. It changed from a $50 fee to a $15 an hour fee. And basically the reason why that happened is because, they stopped charging for any day of the week except for Friday and Saturday. Those are the only days where you have to pay to rent out the spot or Rough Rider room. And they changed it from $50 to $15 an hour because like a lot of people would, like student groups would say that they were gonna come set up like at 4 and then they'd show up at 6. So it kind of puts in like accountability factor. Are there any questions?
Representative Thompson.
Did you find out what percentage of groups are actually using it for more than, I guess, 3 1/3 hours? Because I feel like most groups aren't even in there that long, so it might be a cost reduction.
Yeah, like, yeah, it all depends on how much time you actually spend in the spot. And I mean, it kind of, like, I think it's a good idea for it to be $15 an hour as opposed to $50, because it kind of like makes student groups more responsible and time savvy. Anything else?
Any other points? Seeing none, treasurer tip of the week.
We get the New York Times for free. It's really cool that we get it. You guys should utilize it. And they have really awesome crosswords. Also, as Jaisal has found, and I myself has also found, that Nutella and pretty much any other thing like cream cheese, jams, jellies, taste really good together. I'm open to points.
Represent Colleen.
Actually, I'm not sure, but I think this question might be more for Colin. So, is it your intention to take and review and disperse appropriately to a number of very good projects, or to make a one-time grant of $10,000?
So is the question, do we have, are we wanting to spread out the money, or we want to sponsor one project?
That's correct.
It really is just dependent on what is submitted. Our decision-making process will be based on making the best or the most amount of good for the student body. If that is one big thing, I have no idea what it would be, but if that's what it is, then that is what the money would go towards. If it's many projects, we would do that.
Vice President Agarwal.
I just wanted to give some examples of SLIGs we've given out in the past. Last I remember we gave out 2 or 3, 2 of which were, one was to get a bunch of board games for Wade and Fribley, and the other grant was for a lot of chairs. I can't remember for which facility it was, whether it was Twing or Carleton. So a student requested a lot of chairs for Carleton Commons. So that's the kind of things that we would give a student life improvement grant for, just to give you guys examples. And if you have a friend or something who's considering but not sure if their project is would be considered, just encourage them, because it could be anything.
Any other points for the speakers? Okay. Vice President Hamilton.
Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday I met with Rick Bischoff to continue discussing, I guess, financial aid matters for students and international students. I guess I'm still sort of stuck in my opinion that there should be international student financial aid, regardless if it affects domestic students. That being said, from my conversation with him, the impression coming sort of in the future is the idea that there will be an increase in the number of students that pay the full amount to go to CASE. So currently there are about 10% that do that. So 420 students, 420 undergraduate students, and they would be aiming to increase that amount. So there would be a reduction in the amount of cash discounts that they hand out to students through merit-based scholarships. Then that sort of money or revenue that they save or discounts that they prevent from occurring would then be transferred over to international students with financial need. And I don't want to go into this too much just because I know it can start a discussion. I guess other than that, undergraduate teaching excellence awards are underway. Had that ad in the Observer, hoping to put up flyers tomorrow to get the word out, compete with the Wiki and the Jackson. So I'm open to points.
Any points for Vice President Hamilton? Representative Williams?
Does the speaker still wish to visit a physics lab?
Oh yeah, totally. I think I have people's times down, but after GA, we can talk again and figure out times. I guess the one thing, I went to one already partly, and I had no idea what was going on. So if you don't mind, anyone that chaperones me, basically, if you could talk to me about what you're doing as it's occurring, as opposed to just looking at your physics lab and doing it, that would make the experience for me much more rewarding, knowledgeable, and enjoyable. So thank you. Any other points? All right, thank you.
If the speaker would like to see a biology lab, you can accompany me sometime. It's good times. We're in the same lab, actually. It'll be really fun.
All right, we'll see.
Vice President Dorbeck.
Hi, everyone. I feel a little bit more alive this week, so. Several things on the agenda. Today, we finished putting the directories together, so now they're ready to get out there and tackle the campus. And so each of you gets a pizza directory, and with that is coupons Pizza Fusion and Pizza BOGO, who has the best pizza, the Tuscan Florentine. I recommend it. It was great. Elections are starting. Well, letters of intent are due, and we are doing several PR initiatives with the Elections Commission. Tomorrow night we'll be painting the wall, so look out for that. If you guys don't see enough PR, or if you're unaware, please let us know. We want to get more things out there. On Saturday, we had several people who who bowled, and they got 4th place out of 9 teams. I think that is correct. So give them a snappity snap. What?
Who were they?
Keith Lepton, Jaisal Shaw, Taryn Fitch, and who is the 4th person?
Jared Hamilton.
Jared Hamilton. There you go. There's our excellent bowlers of the week. But this Saturday is dodgeball, and that is 10 people, I think, is the minimum. And we're guaranteed 2 games, and if you're interested, please sign on this piece of paper. And I think I had one more thing. I guess that's it. I'm open for points, but I'm gonna yield the rest of my time to Taryn Fitch. Keith?
Yeah, I just instead of sending out a piece of paper, can we actually raise our hands and to see if there's even close to 10?
Yeah.
First, because then we can just kill it.
Okay. All right.
So
who
raise your
is
hands if you're
interested in playing dodgeball?
What time?
Saturday, the 26th.
We don't know what time yet because it depends on how many teams sign up and how they organize it. But it's during the day on Saturday.
Sacco.
There is a Satco.
So if you're interested, raise your hand.
But if you're interested, please raise your hand. 1, 2. Oh.
Looks
Okay.
like a no.
Okay. Unfortunately, dodgeball might not be a go this weekend, but we still have mini golf and indoor soccer. So, Peter.
Did we not get enough people for floor hockey?
I don't think so.
It was too fast, Peter.
So. Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll have our own game. Keith?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that we spent a lot of time on these directories. Everybody please take one. There's a coupon that's an actually really good coupon. It's to the Pizza Fusion in Tomlinson, and you get half off a pizza. So everybody gets one of those through the directory. So please pick it up.
Any other points for the speaker? Thank you.
Colin?
Was the speaker aware of how many spots are left for Saturday's Satco?
Not. There was 2 left when I checked last night at 1 a.m. So
the registration closes on Thursday.
Yeah. So if those spots are still there, you can sign up.
Any other points for the speaker? Representative Beckett?
Where will you be handing out the directories to all the others?
What we're going to do is first hit up like departments and offices that are more likely to order pizza, and then we're going to be in Nord and hit up high traffic areas like Twing and KSL and PBL and bigger student centers. We'll also be targeting some grad schools, going to the law school library, the med school, and possibly CIM and CIA, depending on the numbers of directories. Are there any other points?
We did about 1,000, and probably about 500 to 600 are actually going to be going out. Well, I'd say about 500 are going to go out to administration, grad school, law school. It just is giving a lot of value back to the vendors. So we're only going to give about 400 to 500 to the undergrads, and that'll be kind of just through handing it out on the quad saying, hey, there's a great coupon attached here. So
And also, when the freshmen come in next year, we'll probably use that directory to give to them, like during welcome days. Colleen?
This is probably the last time we're officially going to hear about the pizza directory. And I want to embarrass Keith Lupton just for a second, because Keith, this is the greatest legacy that you can almost personally say that you started and created. It is now one of the most popular items that USG provides. So I just want to say thank you.
If there are no other points, my time is now yielded to Laura Cruz for Rep Spotlights.
All right, so today we have a delicious Crunch Bar and Butterfinger. All right, so first off, this person is from Waverly, Ohio. Guilty pleasure is watching Bones. Mindry.
BP counting.
Absolutely. All right. If he was a cartoon character, he would be Superman. His doppelganger is Liz Irizarry. His biggest pet peeve is when people do not say something they say they will do. All right. Crunch, good choice. Letter. Least favorite letter is Q. All right, let's see here. Our second person, let's see. If they're a cartoon character, they would be Princess Jasmine. Guilty pleasure is food. I think I saw Colin's hand first. All right. Let's see. Favorite movie, Howl's Moving Castle. Hands?
What's the favorite movie?
Howl's Moving Castle. Oh, Kelly. Yep. Yep. All right. Weirdest animal she's ever touched is a stingray. Doppelgangers, Amrita Rao or Preta Zinta. I don't know if I said that right.
Excellent. Vice President Maloney.
It's like, wait, I at least have to get the candy. So not much to report this week other than the fact that I've been working to get the online election system and letter of intent submission system working. If you notice any problems with any of that stuff on the USG website, let me know. Some people are experiencing a problem where they cannot get to the usg.case.edu/election page using the two links on the main page, but they're there, I promise. So if you're having that problem, try clearing your browser cache, and that should solve the problem. And I'm continuing to look into what is causing this problem in the first place. And so let me know if you notice any problems with the letter of intent system. Open to points.
Representative Thompson? That's exactly what I was going to ask.
In most browsers, it's kind of loud. Sorry. In most browsers, it is in the options. It's in the options menu in Firefox. It is in the little wrench menu thingy in Chrome. Safari, I believe it's in. I want to say it's in Preferences in Safari on OS 10. Not sure about Safari for Windows. And Internet Explorer, it's in Internet Options.
Representative Thompson?
Is there a faster way of doing it? Say Control F5 or Shift F5?
Why, yes, there is, and those are the ways.
Is it the same thing as deleting your history?
No.
Okay.
Well, you can often do them both at the same time, but it's not quite the same thing.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't.
Any other points? Okay, seeing none, we'll now move into caucus reports. Representative Bagat. I don't think I've ever done that to my computer. I don't think I've ever done that to my computer.
Good evening. Thank you. We had our big Cookies and Comments event last week. It was a smashing good success, if I could say so myself. We had fairly good attendance, and it wasn't just people from USG. Dean Molly Berger was there, and she loved it. She was taking notes the entire time, and she actually emailed me like 3 pages worth of notes. And apparently, what's actually a good thing is, compared to last year, there's only 1 complaint about SAGES, and the rest are constructive comments about what needs to be changed in the College of Arts and Sciences. So we're going to have a lot to talk about at this meeting tonight. And speaking of the meeting, we loved having meetings so much last week, we decided to have 2 meetings in a row. That's right. We're productive. And now this is out to the people in TV land. The College of Arts and Sciences is having a caucus meeting tonight, so if you want to come over to Delbert Hall and sit in on a meeting if you're thinking about running for USG, or the freshmen here, if you guys are thinking about doing College of Arts and Sciences caucus next semester, sit in the meeting. Other than that, I'm open to points.
Points for Representative Pagat. Okay, seeing none, are there any other caucus reports for tonight? Representative Iannetti.
The Weatherhead Caucus is having its feedback event, Chocolate Comments, next Tuesday in PBL from about 1 to 4. Open to points.
Any points for Representative Iannetti? Representative Dorbeck.
What kind of chocolate type things will you be having at this event?
Cookies and candy.
Any other points? Seeing none, any last caucus reports? Representative Gallo.
So pretty much just want to say that we have a tentative date, March 24th, which is the Thursday of the week that has March 21st, which is a Monday. So, well, earlier I told you guys that it was going to be sometime during that week, so I'm just, saying. Also, I just have a quick question. We were thinking about having food, so I just want to know what kind of food you guys think would be good. Because we were thinking either pizza or Qdoba bar, but I mean, just a little question.
Representative Dorbeck, or Vice President Dorbeck, I'm sorry.
I think you should consider the formality of the event and then go from there.
It's a semi-formal event where you can just come in and out. So we're thinking just something you can pick up and eat, or nothing major.
Any other points for Representative Gallo? Did you say pierogies?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. That's all.
Okay. Any other caucus reports? Okay, seeing none, we'll move back into old business. Are there any nominations for Cutler House representative? Treasurer Shaw.
I have a couple names, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah. First. Oh, sorry. I have a couple names. Dang it. Holly Holmes, Allie Kohlberg, Emily Larkin, and Ruth Thompson.
Any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, we'll now take nominations for College of Arts and Sciences representative. Secretary Mueller.
I'm going to nominate Nick Barron and Angela Sander.
Any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, those will remain open until we fill them. We can now entertain a motion to remove Bill B 20-06 from the table. Representative Williams?
So moved.
Is there a speaker in the pro? Vice President Downey.
Getting there.
I don't even know.
Okay, so you guys kind of heard about this last week, but this is just we had a rollover from last semester that was due to mainly student orgs not using all their money, plus a small amount from exec budget. And so this is just making sure that this rollover does not last past this semester. And the big items are going back into rolling funding, mass funding, and executive co-sponsorships in the SLIG, as well as a couple small changes. But I'm open to points unless there's anything new. So
Clarification questions on the resolution? Okay, seeing none. Is there a speaker in the con? Okay, and we'll move into discussion on the bill. So we'll allow 6 minutes for discussion tonight. If we need 6. Vice President Downey.
So I think this was brought up, but I was sick at that GA. So it's where we're holding back the $12,000 for this coming mass funding. The way that mass funding works is that the money that we'll give out this semester, because it's technically going to be used by student organizations, next semester in the fall, it has to be on the budget that will pass at the end of this semester. So that's why that $12,000 is being held until then. Does that make sense to everyone, or is that clear? All right, cool.
Colleen?
Colin, does this reflect the accurate amount of money that's coming in from the SAF?
Yes, this is dealing with hard numbers coming from Doreen Thibodeau, I think is how you say her last name, who has worked with me pretty closely, and she's great at getting, and this is the actual number that we're getting from the SAF, and this is actual number that is in the AGY account, or the bank account, so to say, for USG. So this is not estimated, this is now actually real numbers.
Secretary Mueller?
Move to amend the last be it resolved clause, 1A. The budget shall expire June 30th, comma, 2011, period. It got brought up last week. That's why I'm throwing it.
You can't actually move to do that, but Representative Falkenberg could, as she brought it up.
I have no power.
Okay. Or anyone else who wants, Representative Hale.
Move to what he said.
I brought it up just adding the date to it.
Is that friendly, Vice President Downey? So it would be to amend it to include the year.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yes, the year.
I didn't know if you just wanted to remove it. I was like, yeah, no, sorry.
Excellent. The amendment passes. Any other? Representative Williams.
Just a question. At the very bottom, there's a liability section. Could you just explain what that is?
So the liability section is student organizations have two accounts. They have an allocated account, which is the amount of money that USG gives them through mass funding and rolling funding, and it does not roll over for the student organizations. If they don't use it, it comes back to USG, and then we give it back out to student organizations the next semester. The other account they have is a fundraised account. This is money that the group fundraised on their own. It is not student activities fee money. It is their own money that we hold for them in our accounts. And it's money that they can use as a student organization, but it's not governed by the SAF. But it is still money we have to account for and let you guys know how much is in the account. So, and also just as an aside on this, the amount of movement on those accounts is actually pretty significant. When I looked 2 weeks ago, it was $11,000 had already been dispersed from those fundraised accounts for this semester alone. So it goes up and down quite a bit. So just to give you guys an idea of what's going on.
Any other points for discussion? So when there are no points for Representative McKee. Is there any dissent? Can someone second it? Is there any dissent? Okay, so we will now vote on Bill B 20-06. All in favor, please signify by raising your hand. How did you get?
39.
I got 39 too.
Oh.
Yeah, I can count today. All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the bill passes. Is there any other old business for today? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into new business. Representative Bagat? Okay, is there a speaker in the pro? Vice President Downey? And as a reminder, all bills must be tabled for at least a week before they can be voted on, so.
So this is just what's going on with rolling funding in the Finance Committee. We meet every Friday, and he requests from student organizations. And this is just kind of the summary of what we have granted and what we have not. In the appendix, which I'm not sure was, I don't think it was printed because it was too long, but that was sent out, and it will probably be sent out with minutes as well when it comes out for you guys to look at the actual itemizations. But can we get that on screen just real quick? Okay. And just as a point of clarification, the rolling funding for USG requires 2 weeks advance notice, not 4. And there are several requests that are heard, just as a point of clarification. So this is going kind of fast, but when this is sent out with the minutes, hopefully if anyone sees anything that they want to ask questions about next GA when we actually vote on this, that would be great. I don't think there's anything too controversial on this, but always open to points. So.
Any points for Vice President Downey? Okay, seeing none. Is there a speaker in the con? Did you point to a speaker?
Yeah, no,
Oh, did anyone have a question? You have to raise your hand really high because I can't see well. Okay, so we'll move into discussion on Bill B20-07. Representative Cruz.
I don't know if it's something I have to ask if it's friendly or not, but it says Bill R. And also the date presented says 2010. And in the first be it resolved, the numbers, one of them has a comma, one of them doesn't. I don't know if that's a detail we want to fix. I propose that they both have
If you'd like to
commas.
fix it, you can move to amend.
Okay. Move to amend the first whereas clause to 6,397.5.
Okay. Would you like to amend the other things?
Yes. Move to amend the presented date to 2011.
Friendly?
Move to change it to Bill B instead of Bill R.
Excellent. If it was unfriendly, we would take a vote. Any other points for discussion? Representative Hale. Okay. Any other new business? Vice President Maloney.
Move to introduce Bill B 20-08.
Okay, speaker in the pro? It's the night of Downey.
So also as part of Finance Committee, we also recognize student organizations, and this is Active Minds at Case, and pretty much what their purpose is to bring about a better culture about mental health on campus, and they want to be more of a proactive like support and educational group that supports wellness and that kind of thing on campus, just so we can be aware of it. But that's pretty much the gist of it. It was very well done application. Everything was actually done right the first time, so open and points.
Any points for Vice President Downey? Okay, seeing none. Is there a speaker in the con? Okay, we'll move into discussion. Representative Williams.
Move to change to Bill B 20-08. Move to amend.
Is that friendly?
Is it friendly? And move to change to 22nd February 2011.
Yes.
And question, actually a legitimate question. At the very bottom, under should those be it resolves 1 and 2?
Oh.
Move
That's
to
an
amend.
editing error that sometimes happens when we print agendas on 2 pages. So.
And sorry. And actually, I just saw that. But I actually had a different question. Should it be June 30th, 2011 or 2012?
12. So all.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was wondering.
All recognitions go for a year. The only reason that we did recognitions this past fall is because Collegiate Link changed and we needed groups to have updated profile reflecting the new system. And so what this means is that the student groups will be recognized until next summer. And if they do not re-recognize in the next spring, because it's done once a year, that means they will not be recognized for the following school year. Does that make sense?
Any other points for discussion? Representative Fitch?
You have a period at the end on Bill 07, but not on 08. Is there a reason for that, or?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Other points for discussion? Representative Thompson? Okay. Any other new business? Commissioner Lupton?
Hey, everybody. First off, reminder, is this too loud? Is this okay? Okay. Reminder, elections are now. It started actually last night. They were officially opened, and they go until March 2nd, which is next Wednesday night at midnight. So get your letters of intent in, as Mintry said. So to start out, I'll introduce my proposed election commission. Just as a special note, in the bylaws it says that I'm supposed to actually advertise that I'm looking for a commission 3 weeks before I actually induct them, and I didn't have a chance. There's a couple different reasons why I didn't have a chance to actually publicize. I was looking for a commission, a couple different things internally, and we thought that the elections were going to be a little bit later, and they actually got moved up really far this year. So this is actually pretty early. Probably a lot of you noticed this is pretty early to have elections. So, but anyway, my proposal is Mintry win, and actually all these proposals they've actually already said yes to, and we've already had our first meeting. It was a PR meeting, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of the flyers that have been done or table tents, but that's all been because of the commission so far. But anyway, Mintry Win is a proposed name just because of his expertise in USG, and it's nice to have a president on board because I've actually never ran for a presidency or a VP position, so having him on board will be really helpful. Jared Hamilton also. I've had a lot of experience over the years working with Jared, and I know he's an effective leader, and I'm going to really enjoy working with him. Not in USG, actually, just to let you guys know, there's 4 people on the commission with myself. 2 USG, 2 non-USG, and that's a mandatory thing. I can have more than that, but as of time being right now, we only have these 4. So, Brian Service. He's a sophomore aerospace mechanical engineer. I had a chance to talk with him this past semester, and he's not really involved too much on campus, and I kind of got him involved. He told me in our conversation that he's looking to get more involved. So he doesn't do too much. He does a couple things in the engineering department, but he was really looking to get his feet wet. Doesn't have much experience, but that's perfect. That's kind of what I was looking for. Somebody a little bit younger, somebody that doesn't have too much experience, just to kind of be that, that person that says, why are we doing this? And the last person I chose is Nate Knox. Nate's going to be a great candidate. I was actually trying to find, I asked a couple people, and because I actually got the commission together last Wednesday, I had a lot of time crunch to go through. So Nate Knox voluntarily stepped up and said, I'd love to serve on your commission. So he's also, I think he's a junior. I'm not sure what his major is. Does anybody know? Music. Yeah, Coxside Music. But anyway, he's a fellow Sigma Nu member. So, but anyway, he's going to be on the commission. So there's one thing that I'd like to say about this proposed commission that might be standing out is that it is heavily Sigma Nu based. Okay?
I was going to say it's all males, but...
It's all males. But for those of you that don't really know what organizations everybody's in, it's like I'm supposed to try to have a diverse, I mean, there's nothing in the bylaws that say it has to be diverse, but I try to get it diverse, and I don't think that there's going to be any issues with this commission being several people Sigma Nu. Brian Service, he's a current pledge of Sigma Nu, so he's not actually inducted into Sigma Nu. But to let you know that I am naturally unbiased. My job, no.
It's actually true.
My job as election commissioner is to remain neutral. That's what I was trying to say. So there is something in the bylaws that says that if there is a conflict of interest, then I can ask any member of my commission to step out of this vote. So if that something does come up where there's going to be a conflict of interest, that we'll be able to go around it. But I'm very confident that our commission is very strong, and I think we'll do a great job in the next couple weeks. Any questions?
Representative Williams.
I think Ventry was actually first.
Oh, no, I was just gonna, I'm not SIGNU.
Yeah.
But I was actually going to point out that since they are all four Greek, do you think that that in some ways does alienate non-Greeks?
I don't think anything to do with the affiliations of anybody on this commission will have any effect on the commission.
If I could just state to that, the commission's main job during elections is to handle cases in which a violation of our election policy goes, to us. I am confident that VP Hamilton, myself, and Keith at least will be maintaining our level-headedness and not have any biases either associated with any of our organizations during that time, because I think we take USG quite seriously. So,
Colleen.
Ball, but I think you need a woman.
Need a woman?
Yep.
Well, I'm open. This commission, are you saying that you would actually do not want this commission?
No, I
or we
think the
can just
commission
increase?
rocks. I think I have no problem.
So you're asking to maybe increase the
I think
commission?
it's gender biased.
That's
and
fine.
I think that's really not good for USG.
Vice President Maloney.
I would like to nominate myself.
If you didn't say that, Kelly, I was going to nominate you because I've been working with you mostly about the election process. So I am happy to put you on the ballot of people. So I would like to amend. I think I'm going to have to look at the bylaws, but
Are
the
you
voting.
amending to add Kelly?
Well, yes.
Okay.
But I have the bylaws in front of me. I'm not sure if you guys actually vote in 5, and it has to be 5, and then I'm allowed to have whoever else, and there's 5 official votes. So then I'd need to think real quick who I want you guys to look at. So.
But at least they're voting on a commission.
They're voting on a commission.
And they're well aware of the balance of gender.
Yes.
So if you want to add more women.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. So I'm going to put Kelly Maloney on this voting, but Doug, can you clarify?
How about taking Jared off as a SIGNU male, adding Kelly on as one of the 5, and then adding including
For sure.
Jared as the 6th member. So then we have confirmed by the GA a girl who's not a SIGNU and whatever. So it increases the SIGNU.
Can I make a point of clarification? As I understand it constitutionally, the commission can be larger than 4 members.
Right, but I'm just saying for us voting on right now, the 5 members that USG has to vote on, it would be better to have Kelly on that ballot as opposed to another SIGNU male.
So Jared is now an auxiliary member and Kelly is a core member.
When everyone is voting, instead of Jared's name, it's going to be Kelly's name.
Point of, I did this last year. I approved 5 people last year.
I think that it's up to Commissioner Lupton, but you can have the vote to be for all of the people. You don't necessarily have to vote to strictly approve a number of people. You can approve as many as.
So real quick, can I ask Doug a question before we all start raising our hands? I'm allowed to have, if they vote in 10 members tonight, each of those members will have a vote on the commission? Is it in the bylaws that I have to?
It's up to you. You have latitude on.
Okay, that's fine. Then I'm gonna actually propose that we have all 5 names voted in tonight. So as it stands right now, we're gonna have Brian Service, Nathan Knox, Mintry Wynn, Jared Bell, my bad. Cancel that. Jared Hamilton and Kelly Maloney.
Okay, so points of discussion on the commission as stated.
Any other questions?
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, so we'll now vote on the commission as stated. All in favor of the commission, please signify by raising your hand. So a point of clarification on abstaining from a vote. As an elected member of USG, the only reason you're allowed to abstain from a vote is if you feel that it's a conflict of interest. So this is a prime example of what you could consider as a conflict of interest. If you feel that, if President Wynn feels that he's biased and thinks that he's a great member, he could abstain from this vote. So that's the appropriate way to abstain. So all opposed to the commission and abstentions. Okay. The commission passes.
Thank you.
Any other new business for tonight? Representative Schillo. Granted. Okay, we'll move into open forum, starting with the USG feedback report.
One second.
Would you like President Wynn to talk about his experiences? Tell us about your Damon tree.
Okay, so I just want to get some feedback from you guys. How much detail do you guys want? Because I can. Okay.
What tie was he wearing?
Okay. Well, not that much detail. All right. Well, I'll just start, and you tell me too much, too little, whatever. I was contacted last Thursday about joining a roundtable event with the White House, including myself and 14 other young Americans or young adults. So this happened in the middle of an exec meeting, so it was weird. Anyways, I'm not sure if you guys know Kal Penn Modi, also known as Kal Penn. He's an actor from Harold and Kumar, goes to, and maybe House or something similar. Well, he works for the administration of public engagement under President Obama. And he has invited me and these other 14 to a roundtable discussion. So today was the event at CSU. I was basically waiting in line to get in. He kind of just waved us over on the other side, so we went and entered a different door. I was taken into this room where we talked about issues that are affecting young Americans now, issues that are affecting us locally, institutionally, and how we are solving those issues within these realms. So the discussion basically centered around a lot of entrepreneurship, small businesses, economy, the American economy, of course, Veterans Affairs, and a multitude of other things, but mostly entrepreneurship was the major chunk of that discussion. So before I knew it, we were talking, and these two doors that we entered from and left, or entered from, were like jiggling. So I was like, someone's trying to break in. And lo and behold, it was the president trying to break in. So the doors burst open. These really tall and big men in dark suits walked in, and President Obama starts stepping into the room. At this point, I find myself between, I don't know how, but I was sitting and then I was just up. And I didn't remember actually thinking in my head, oh, I should stand up. And I think it just happens. So I think he just commands it when he walks into the room. But he walked around and shook everyone's hand, and we got to introduce ourselves. And thank you, Case Western Reserve University, for having such a long name, because I shook that man's hand for about 5 minutes. So it was we were just looking at each other Mintry Wynn, undergraduate student government president of Case Western Reserve University. There was a good 20 shakes in there. But anyways, he moved on and then sat down and said, just very motivational things, and said, I believe that our youth here is one of the most innovative, most creative minds and the most creative generation that we've had in a while. And so he says that he believes that the youth are the future, and that these creative initiatives that he wants to push on us will eventually create a better life for America. So he started off with that, and then he said that, do you have any questions? I have a couple minutes that I can field some questions. So as of this point, I really haven't said much during the discussion. Entrepreneurship, whatever, isn't really much a part of my realm. But so two individuals asked him questions about Veterans Affairs and more entrepreneurship stuff. And at this point, I was like, oh my gosh, I had a list of questions that I created the night before, just staying up till 3 a.m. trying to figure out what I really need to ask him. And I couldn't pick one, but I had one in mind that kind of is relevant. So I asked him, I raised my hand like a kindergartner, and he picked me. And And so, you know, so I talked to him about, I asked him about research funding and how that has affected the U.S. economy in World War II time, and how that's helped the economy, you know, then, and how, you know, does he see that helping us now if we push for funding in research and whatnot. Plus, it affects us personally because, let's face it, all our professors, most of them do research, and if they spend too much time looking for grants and not so much teaching, you know, what does that say for an institution like ours? So he answered it. He basically said that this was one of his top priorities, of course. And then so we you know, that was basically the gist of his answer. It was a lot longer than that. He gave me some references and whatnot. But we took a picture. He moved into the conference room, or the, it's like the big hall in which he was going to do his speech. And then we followed after. Everybody was there and already seated, so we were like the last ones to go in. And I had a seat in the back. But when we sat down, and I sat down on my seat, there were two other individuals who didn't have seats. So I gave them the seat that I had, and then the other person got their seat, so I was left standing. Which made it very awkward, so I guess that's why the security personnel came over and said, I have another seat for you if you would like, and I said yes. Turns out to be an even better seat because it was like 3 rows from where he was standing, so I was like sitting by mayors and like other really important people that I should know. And so I was watching him speak, and he gets to this point where he says, so I was in this room with young adults, young Americans, and this young man had asked me a question about research funding. And I am flabbergasted at this point, because that's me. You know, like that was me. So you know, and he referenced it and said, you know, what he was doing to you know, work on that priority. You can probably get all of this in the news, by the way. I think there's like so many cameras there. So that was my adventure today. Thank you, professors who let me go. So that's basically all. If you guys have any questions. I'm sorry?
Did you ask to be excused from class
to
meet President Obama?
I did. I had homework to turn in as well, so I hope you can still allow me to turn that in. But that is basically the gist of things. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want me to explain more in detail what was he wearing, whatever, talk to me later. But any other questions now that is more big picture, I'd love to take.
Representative Hoffman?
Who else was there that we might know?
Oh, so for those members who know Katie Haas, Katie Haas's little sister is the student body president at the University of Worcester, and she was there as well. But other representatives who were in that room were a veteran, an entrepreneur, the student body president of Ashland University, Kent State, Akron. CSU was really represented. They had their president of their Latino club. They had their president of their Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Alliance, their student body president, their Greek life president, their Panhel president, and 2 other individuals. One person who was working in the state, Ohio right now, state of Ohio office right now, and she used to work with Strickland as well. And then another person who is, what is the name? Power Network? I can't remember. I can get you more information on that. But those were the individuals.
Representative Thompson?
Did you meet like Governor Kasich or Mayor Jackson?
I did see Mayor Jackson, yes, but I did not get to meet him. He actually sat very close to me. But I think meeting President Obama was much of a shock enough. So that and Cal Penn. So yeah, that was enough for me.
Any other questions? Okay. The thing I think that's really cool is that when we have our new student center, like Cleveland State has their new student center, maybe we can host something like this.
Can I just add that opportunities like these happen because of USG, and I would like to just mention to you guys how far being in this organization has taken me, and how far it could take any of you guys if you choose to put your heart and soul into it. I don't know, if you guys think that I do or not, but I certainly feel that I have, and I think that it's a great reward in any way. You may not have the same situation as this, but I do believe that if you stick with this organization and if you continue with it, that rewards come in every single direction, in any single way. So please keep that in mind and make sure that others know that when they are running for this organization, that it is a superb and stand-up organization.
Secretary Mueller.
Is there any way we can have SIS what-if scenarios allow more than 3 options? I know I personally have more than 2 or 3 majors and minors. Not terribly uncommon in the Arts and Sciences College. Having the ability to view how a change would affect my program of study and still see everything would be very useful.
This is the feedback form, by the way.
Yeah.
Some people were looking really confused.
There are some areas around campus that really like to form puddles, unacceptable for living in Cleveland. Can we do something to make the area around KSL Oval? Ever see that huge puddle in front of Twing less wet? How does a greenie jump from 1 minute to 12 minutes, then from 18 minutes? I don't know. Something about complaining. And then the other stuff were very specific to finance, so I won't mention them.
Representative Pagat.
This general point for open forum. When you, I've had this difficulty and other people have as well. When you're signing up for a minor or a major and there's a concentration specific that you have to sign up for as well, there's no spot on the declaration form for it. And then you'll find out when you're graduating that, hey, you never declared a concentration even though you thought you did. And then you have to come in, resubmit another form and see different offices all over again because there wasn't a spot originally on the original form. Anyone have the same difficulty? I mean, when you're filling it out, like as a freshman, it's like you don't really realize that you have to fill that part out because there's no spot on the form for it. You have to physically write it in on there. So maybe if we talked to undergraduate studies and had them redo the form just to include a concentration spot.
Sounds like a Vice President Hamilton thing.
Yeah, I'll schedule a meeting with Dean Wolkowitz to talk about that and other things.
Other points for open forum. Representative Singh.
I was talking to somebody earlier this week, and they walked to the parking garage a lot, and it's not really well illuminated in the village, so it's kind of. I was wondering if Student Life could do something or look into it. I have another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Also, could Wade get an updated version of Microsoft Office, because you can't edit your
Vice President Maloney.
So the reason that is the way it is because Student Affairs doesn't want to encourage people to sit on the computers in Wade or Fribley for extended periods of time, and they feel that having Office on there would cause that. We made the argument that people already do spend extended amounts of time there, what with Facebook and things like that. And we're currently trying to work with them to see if we can get licensing worked out that will allow that to happen.
Representative DeBoss.
I guess it's not so much the editing as if you open a Word 2011 document, it doesn't transfer some things.
I know.
So it doesn't need to be the full version, even if it can be a viewer that can
The viewers aren't updated to allow that, so it has to be a full version.
Representative Singh.
Yeah, you mentioned Facebook. I was wondering if there's a way to maybe block sites that are extraneous and things that not this work related, and just keep those computers for editing and accessing Blackboard.
Representative Thompson.
I'll speak with Joel about that.
Representative Hale.
About how much time people spend on these computers, why not just have a time limit?
That is I guess I don't really have to use a microphone, you're right there. That's something else that I will bring up when I talk with Joel about this.
Vice President Downey.
Addressing the walking to the parking garage, which parking garage do you mean? Representative Singh. Which parking garage do you mean? The village? Okay. So you're probably going to be hearing more about this, but they're actually updating the Safe Walk program. And so now you will not be calling in to use it anymore. They're actually going to be stationing the safe walkers, whatever, in their yellow coats. They're obnoxiously bright too. You really can't miss them. At KSL. And then if you want to use them, you can just come there, sign in, and then they'll walk you to wherever, like the parking garage, that kind of thing. But it will be only at KSL. So I don't know if that's a extra concern.
So if you lived in like stores, you'd have to walk to
Right.
KSL
I mean,
to get it.
yeah, that is the downside of the project, but they're trying to kind of alleviate some of the traffic on Safe Ride because sometimes it can be 45 minutes or longer for it, and so this is kind of how they're doing it. Also with that, and you'll be hearing more about this, is you'll get a voucher if you use it that could possibly be worth bonus points for classes. They're not announcing which classes yet, but I talked to Officer Mark today, and this is something that they're trying to implement hopefully next week, but definitely upon the return of spring break. So,
Vice President Dorbeck.
Unrelated issue, but at Grab It, is there a way we can get like a door stopper or some way to open the second door to the entrance to Grab It? Because people don't use that door, so there's like stampedes and fists and punches of people trying to get out with their food because they're hungry. So I always like tell people to open the door when they're walking through, but there's no way to keep it open.
Vice President Hamilton.
I guess one other thing from my discussion with Rick Bischoff, on Monday you might have seen a bunch of high schoolers wearing their Letterman jacket swarming campus. These were actually sophomores and juniors, 270 to be exact, that came to our campus to look at our school. And they're hoping to have at least 2 more programs in the next few months about that. More than that? Okay. He told me 2, but.
There'll be 2 like that, but I think there'll be like 3 more for admitted students.
That's what I meant. 2 more as in for sophomores and juniors, so people that haven't even been admitted. So yeah, it's like the first time they've ever done that. So hopefully to have better application pool.
Representative Williams?
Actually, on that note, I know Saturday morning, I think that they had a similar program. I think it was for athletes or something. And all I know is that I went into Leutner like right after that, and there was no food. And like, and I understand, like, okay, fine, but I kind of feel like if I'm on a meal plan and these are just visiting students, like, I kind of feel bad. I kind of get mad that Leutner just like runs out of food all of a sudden. Like, how does that happen?
Representative Gallo?
I just want to say for the safe walk thing, would it make more sense instead of just having people at KSL, maybe in like Wade and then like whatever else is on Southside? I don't know.
So the way it was explained to me is that they're trying to just kind of consolidate the program, and they said about 70% of all the requests for all that all come from KSL. And so to keep it from stretching the program to where it wouldn't be able to support, or like if any, it is just going to be at KSL for now. But that's something we can definitely take. I can tell him for in the future.
Okay, we've reached the end of the allotted time for open forum, so is there a motion to extend? What would you like to comment, Representative Williams? There was no second. Okay, so we're extending open forum by 3 minutes. Representative Hoffman.
Just as far as the open houses, someone was telling me that there's apparently some study about like high schoolers around like 9th and 10th grade is when you start deciding like what colleges are like cool in your mind. I don't know. So when you see all these kids and you think they look really young and you're like, oh, they don't even know what college or like applying to college is about, still like smile at them and look friendly, and if someone looks lost, point them to which direction north is or wherever they're going, because then they might think Case is cool and then they'll want to go here. So just be friendly to the visiting families. I know sometimes they're really, really, really obnoxious, but still try to be nice to them.
Any other Representative Pagat?
If anyone needs a campaign manager, just look me up. I've had past experience. Ask around for references, but I'm more than happy to help you out. I'm also very loud.
Any other pressing points for open forum? Okay, so we're now into our advisor's report, but Colleen ran away. Nope, her stuff is still there. But that's okay, so we'll have announcements now. Representative Hale.
So March 4th, orientation leader applications are due. If you're here this summer, it is the most fun you will ever have.
Even if you're not here, it's still the most fun you'll ever have.
Yeah, I came all the way from Denver to do it. So if I can make it from Denver, you could probably make it from like New Mexico, Texas, Arkansas, these far off wondrous lands.
Colleen, advisor's report.
Oh.
No report.
So back to what I was saying. The last important thing is you get to work for me. So if you want to work for me and have a blast, it'll be fun. And everyone in here is like qualified times 10, so I encourage you all to apply.
Any other announcements? Colleen. Sorry. I said Colleen.
I sort of two, but the most important one is Power of Purple, which is this Friday. Several of us have been working very hard on planning it. It's in Twing. It starts at 12:30, I believe, and we're having a speaker, Dr. Hansen, will be giving a brief talk about his experience with CLL, I think it's called.
And there will be cookies and ice cream.
And it'll be awesome. My other thing was Spartan ambassadors. So we were just talking about prospective students. You should definitely look into being a Spartan ambassador, especially freshmen. They really like to see what the freshman experience is like. You basically host a prospective student overnight. They sleep on your floor, and you have a ton of fun with them. But the next two meetings for that are Wednesday, which is tomorrow, 9 to 10 in Fribley Fireside, or Thursday in Fribley Room 211. There's one in an hour in Leutner Fireplace Lounge. So starting at 9. Thank you.
Colleen?
Next Tuesday is the annual Mardi Gras in Twing, and it's co-sponsored this year by my office and UPB, and it's going to be amazing. There's going to be fat fish food, so it's going to be at the end, the live band is play swamp music inside of it. It's really cool. They're sponsoring mocktails and a character artist and mask making, and there's going to be a mask parade. It's going to be awesome. So it's 11:30 next Tuesday, and I want to see all of there.
Vice President Downey? Okay. Commissioner Lupton.
Yeah, I really need some help. We just did the directories. We have 1,000 of them, and all of them need to make it over to the USG office. I know a couple people are actually going to take some of them home tonight that are on the PR committee, but most of them probably will go over to the USG office. You're going to Northside, come downstairs, I think it's room 102, and just pick up a handful and drop it off in the USG office. Please, if you're going to Northside, pick them up. Thanks.
Vice President Dorbeck.
I just want to thank Keith and Albert for all their hard work on the pizza directories, and it's going to be great.
President Downey.
Second. Move to adjourn.
Free food at the Jolly Scholar. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget caucus meeting.
Happy Nacho Tuesday.
Physics labs? Does anyone want to tell me when their physics lab is?